Yes, okay. It's a pleasure to actually have this interaction with you. Um, you are the Chief Security Officer of this great state, Anambra State. Um, there are a lot of people who want to know what's the security situation in the state. From you, would like to know, sir, what is the situation in the state currently?
Well, Anambra remains the safest state in Nigeria. This didn't, apart from God, this didn't just uh, came like that. You know, it came from a very structured approach that we adopted long ago, and I would like to go over it so that you can understand what we're doing. You know, first we started by signing into law the Anambra Vigilante Law, so that we can have security at the local government and at the state level. The traditional rule and local at the community level, local government and state. The traditional rulers are the chairmen of their respective communities. The president generals, are the secretaries to that committee. Critical stakeholders of that community, about 6, 7, 8 of them are members, plus some other people in the cabinet of the Igwe. So these people oversee the activities of crime and what have you, cultism, name it, in the various states, and trigger it up to the state level. That has been very useful. That's actually community policing. Before this word was being branded all over the place, Anambra, in 2014, we started community policing, and that has gone a long way. The second thing we did was we revamped the communication equipment of the police, the army, civil defense, and the other arms of the forces so that they can coordinate. I've given the police over 220 vehicles from 2014 to now. The first set was 150 pickups that we gave them. All vehicles I give are usually command and control centers. So they can talk to each other and, among other things. I don't need to reveal so much to you, but those vehicles are loaded. And it's also gone a long way in helping us to make arrests and pinpoint issues. In 2014, immediately I came into office, I organized Operation Bochap 1. Bochap in Igbo means wipe out. I have zero tolerance for crime in Anambra State. We launched this operation for effective 9 months with the support of the army, the police, the civil defense, the NDLEA, and of course the vigilante services, as I explained earlier to you, at the local government, at the community level, So all these things help to rein in activities. When they saw that I'm serious, there's a new kid on the block, zero tolerance for crime and other stuff. If you pick up anybody, kidnap was rampant shortly before I came in, but they disappeared purely because of the pressure I mounted on these guys. I put down houses where any kidnap victim is kept. I destroy the houses and take over the land as governor. We destroyed quite some early 2014, 2015, and these guys ran away. Once in a while, there'll be storm in the teacup and we'll pick them up. We have a very robust tracking device, and I don't need to give you details, but I want to reassure you that it's working. If you mess up in Anambra, we'll pick you anywhere. What I did to show up, because you fight crime in two ways, psychologically and also with what you have in terms of physical infrastructure. Apart from ensuring that the police, the army, their equipments are working. We also motivate them very well, and we buy diesel or gas for their vehicles for operation and all that stuff. So they don't have any challenges in terms of getting the facility from the government, and they're happy, and everybody's putting up the best he can in Anambra State. Every year, like we're going to do in less than 3 weeks from now, we launch the Ember Month. During that Ember Month, we use that because Christmas is an important celebration in Igbo land, everywhere in the Christian world. Many people come home during that period, and we need to make sure that they are safe. Just like August is also a very important month in Anambra for the homecoming of the women, who visit from anywhere and all over the world for all kinds of meetings and acquainting with updates on what's going on. It is helped majorly. Operation Light Up Anambra has been very significant in helping us to solve crime. Before, pitch darkness in most of the streets. We've covered, in my view, about 3/4 of the state already in terms of lighting up major streets. That created nightlife and the economy, and also, thieves and lights don't work together. So if you don't have light, those guys can, but once they see light, they are cautious, The army in particular has been useful because of their all-night patrol, stop and search with the police and the Navy. By the way, in Anambra, the army, the police, the civil defense, NDLEA, all those guys in my security council, we work as a team. I'm the chief security officer, and they work as a team. Probably the best cooperation anybody can get anywhere. The CP calls weekly meetings in his office where operational details are taken. And the army and co will be in attendance, working in uniform with respect to that. We also built up sandbags to show up confidence in the populace. Sandbags in strategic areas that in 2014 or before were high point crime areas with police presence at those sandbags. And each sandbag goes with a pickup vehicle and 4 or 5 policemen in there, all armed. They will operate, they'll sit back on their sandbags, and we moved on. So now what we're trying to do is to digitalize, if you will, our security processes. So we have adopted a smart city approach. In less than 3 weeks, when I'm doing Operation Ochapu 2, all the equipments, you can see them right there at the Governor's Lodge that I bought from Boston. I went to VGNI, the company that manufactured the smart cameras, that they used in discovering the Boston Marathon bombers. They made all these equipments. We have enough to cover all our key crime areas. I'll just stop short on this. I'm not going to explain further, but it will help us to pin down thieves, even if they're petty, one chance guys, armed robbers, or wherever they, tag them electronically and follow them up and pick them up with ease. That will enhance police activities. I will launch that very soon. I believe that's the first of its kind in this country. And I'm also giving them 40 smart vehicles, properly equipped, to support the Operation Ochapu 2. And we've earlier than now, we've given 30 smart vehicles to the police. When I say smart vehicles, the type of vehicles you see in the United States used by the police, fully loaded. all communications will be handled in there, and it's gone a long way to help us. What we are doing additionally this time is that we want to bring all of them together and be able to tag them so that electronically, wherever each of the vehicles are, we'll be able to pin down. And command can be given to the vehicle to move to the nearest scene of crime or anything. Again, that will go a long way in helping, what we're doing. So we are ready. We are not shy, in handling these matters. If you watch, we've not been in the news in any material manner on herdsmen issues, because in 2015, May 15, we set up Cattle Ministers Committee, that's what they call it, where those communities that are usually prone to herdsmen activities, the Igwes are members, the service commanders in my state are members, the Mietiala living here are also members, 3 of them, and my SSA of Muslim religion, Haruna, is also a member, and these people meet regularly. Any challenge of herdsmen eating farmers' crops are addressed promptly. Compensation are paid by the herdsmen. Challenge about are people killing their cow? Compensation is also paid promptly. We also pay compensations for, in case of any loss of life, police will handle that, but we also pay some compensation for that. So we've had either way. So we've had a very stable. This method has worked very well, and the herdsmen know that you cannot come into Anambra with your AK-47 criminal and dealt with accordingly. A few that has struggled across, have been identified, and they were meant to leave the state. The Mietiala, after we do area surveillance using police helicopter,
Yes.
once in 2 weeks or thereabout, depending on the frequency, this helicopter will check the concentration of the cattle or whatever and see whether there are new locations. The Mietiala then visits the location and see whether they are old or people trying to come in. The rules are very clear. Anambra is the second smallest state in Nigeria, and we don't have room for Ruga. We don't do that. We're encouraging our people to grow Efibo, Ewibo, Okukibo, and we have put a lot of money down to encourage them to do so, and they are already doing it. That's a species that is almost dying out, but I'm encouraging to by motivating them to come up. So this majorly will give you the broad picture of why we are surviving. Why we are succeeding, and why, because the criminal is not static. As you're planning today, they're also planning. So you keep changing your tactics, and that's what we're doing on a regular basis. This will broadly answer your question.
In fact, it has covered 3 of my questions together. But there's one thing, because this we know very, very clearly. There's one thing you also do annually, which we believe may have also assisted, which is during the launch of this environment security.
Yeah, we compensate.
Awards,
sure.
And this has helped.
We give awards to the best performing soldier in terms of assignment to the duty post, performing police officer, depending on the assignment they were given. These names are generated by their various commanders or commands, if you will. And we also include the road safety, we include the civil defense, NDLEA, all the people that help us here. Every year I reward them. If any of them die in the course of duty, whether at duty post or natural illness, this administration pays compensation to the family. We've even given a few scholarship, and again, that motivates the people. They know that if anything happens to them, somebody can take care of their challenges, Again, that is critical, because when people know that you're helping them, they would like to serve you. But when they look at you and you're not doing anything, so they won't do anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
The army recently are supporting international security, like you rightly mentioned earlier. The chief of army staff particularly was saying that you are one factor that has helped them a lot. You have commended them earlier, but specifically, sir.
Well, let me tell you, the army is a serious partner in our crime fighting here in Anambra State. Most of the night patrols are done with the assistance of the army. As the police, I'm paying money now to organize some training for the members of my security council and their immediate command, for the senior officers to attend a social program, to understand etiquette, things, so that they are very formal in the handling of matters, So yes, the army has been very key, fall significantly. So we brought in NDLA and we support them in the activities. I've just made a request to their boss to increase the boots on ground, so that we can pick more drug guys. And this administration has succeeded in jailing many drug barons, notorious, with the help of the Alhaji Sule, the commander here. They've done very well, So in general, both the army, police, civil defense, NDLEA are doing very well. We work like a team here, like brothers and sisters, under the command of the CP of the state, And if you look at during the day, you probably will not see the army, except in the major road checkpoints and where have you. But at night, they operate, they do stop and search, they match our critical road areas, and this has brought safety to the state.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Your success you have achieved in this state is not only for this state. The nation Nigeria also has the impact of what you're doing here. A lot of people have said a lot of security challenges in the country. What would you advocate as a way of solving this?
Well,
using the Anambra example, for instance.
Well, let me tell you, I'm a very modest guy. I don't blow my trumpet. But I think if you address security fundamentally, put your money where your mouth is, show that you mean business, motivate the team that are working for you, help them in their infrastructure. I told you the things I bought from Boston, plenty of thousands of billions of dollars we bought. You see it when I display it in 3 weeks' time. It's not. Nobody in this state in Nigeria has it. Again, that shows because this administration is very concerned about security. That's my #1 success. That I am where I am in terms of people's rating is because of my achievement in security, among others. I'm doing so many other things, but security is critical. Without security, this think-home philosophy I'm preaching will not work. The diaspora guys that are coming will not work, But we've done well in agriculture, trade and commerce. We have gas being produced now in Anambra State, Guipele. We are working well, sending some notes to DPR, with a view to be prepared to become an oil-producing state, and among other things. We do well in education. We're doing very, very well. And the fulcrum for these successes lies on the security architecture.
Some are even saying that you're trying to have Anambra Airport here to be able to help
Yes,
the moving of these commodities.
yes, would have had this airport long ago. But because we had approval long ago to do one, but because it was to be done, build, operate, manage and transfer, where we won't bring any money, and the investor, the Chinese partners, will do everything. You know, they were very willing until when the soil test was started about a year and 3 months ago. The drone was seized by the federal government for 1 year, exactly 1 year. They seized these drones of the Chinese company. With my intervention at very senior level, that drone was released, I believe, to the Air Force, and eventually the Chinese were able to complete their soil test, and they left. That delay of 1 year affected their financing and what have you. I have just 2 years plus to round up this administration, and I'm not going to wait for them any longer. We've taken basic decisions, and I'll leave the rest. They will see that by the grace of God, there will be an airport before I leave office. And we want, and at this time around, I'm funding it myself. You know, I've been the people have played around. I'll do this, I do this. Before you finish analysis, the financiers come in, all those stuff. They waste so much time. That time we don't have any longer.
The number will be happy for that, Your Excellency. Yes, sir, you were not selected, really. I must say, first of all, congratulations from our own side to be the 2019 award lecture speaker in Dubai. After assessing all the people from the last 1 year, you were selected because of the model that is in Anambra. We are not surprised with what is happening because you came, I think for us, you came with a mindset to change Anambra, which is very, very clear. What will you be telling the people outside this country, outside in the whole world, because the whole world will have you to listen to now about what Anambra is about?
Well, I will be telling them exactly what I've just told you in a broader spectrum. How to checkmate criminality in a third world country. You know, and by the time I develop these things I've told you, it will be a very powerful lecture that may find itself in the Harvard Library.
That is quite happy about that. So thank you very much, Excellency. We know you're very busy.
Thank
so
you.
We'll allow you to do that thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Thank you.